be in your body. You're an adult. You're not growing anymore. Does this ever change? No. No. Right? I mean, it doesn't, because it's the same distance to get blood to my big toe right now as it was yesterday, as it's going to be later today. It doesn't matter, even if I could get my big toe closer to my heart, which I can't. It's still got to go through everything, right? So that's a constant. So we don't have to worry about that. So we're going to replace that with a 1. There. Okay. Viscosity of blood. Now, does the thickness of blood change? Can the thickness of blood change?
Yes.
Absolutely. It certainly can. It can be thick under some cases, thin under others. Do you think, however, that there is an optimal homeostatic optimum for the viscosity or the thickness of blood?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is. And so our body really tries hard to keep blood at the same viscosity. Even though it can change, we would respond to make it back to what is the optimal level. Because if blood gets too thick, it's too hard to pump. If it's too thin, there are problems with exchange. So this really doesn't matter either. I mean, it can have an effect. I'm not saying that there aren't pathophysiological cases of blood being too thick or too thin. I'm saying under normal homeostatic conditions, which is what we're trying to understand, that also is a constant. So now, this is why I like biology, because this 8L eta pi radius to the 4th becomes 1 over radius to the 4th in my body. So all I have to really understand to understand blood flow in the body, I'm not saying it's easy, but this is really, I really only need to understand the effect of 2 things. 1, how do I establish a pressure gradient? Okay, so that's number 1, because we know that's important to get blood flow to flow, right here. How do I establish a pressure gradient? And how does my body alter vessel diameter, vasodilation, and vasoconstriction to affect blood flow at a particular pressure? Does that make sense? So that's what we're looking at there. We are looking at trying to understand how we generate a pressure gradient. That's just the generation of blood pressure. There. And what effect does vasoconstriction and vasodilation have on blood flow? You all right with that? So that's easy, really, if we look at it that way. Okay. Now, obviously, what's going to affect vessel diameter? Parasympathetic, sympathetic, innervation, hormones, things like that, are going to make smooth muscle contract to cause vasoconstriction, or relax to cause vasodilation. Blood pressure. How do we affect blood pressure? Well, we know that blood pressure is affected by the contractile force of the heart, okay, and other things as well, as we'll see, but we need to understand the physiology of how does the heart contract, how does cardiac muscle tissue contract and generate pressure, and what are the factors in the body that affect the ability of the heart to generate pressure. Now, do you think that does blood flow ever have to change in the body from one point in time to another? Right now, you're sitting here at rest. What if you were to go out and run around the track? What's got to happen to your blood flow? It's got to increase, right? You got to get more oxygen, you got to get more nutrients to your contracting muscles. So that means these things have to change, right? The pressure gradient needs to go up, and the resistance needs to go down, if we can make that happen. So,
Can I ask you a question?
yes?